Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. We're specifically going to talk about how you deal with different settings in your Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition and avoiding a massive Hollywood mistake that is, you still see it today. It's incredible that you see this today. So one of the things is, I'm watching Amazon's new show, Panic. It's a very interesting show. It's like a low-rent Hunger Games. So the idea is, and this is a very Hollywood product. I'm sure this, came right from a coastal elite writer's, desk. And the idea, and it's set in the Midwest, right? And the idea of coastal elite Hollywood for the Midwest is there's nothing to do in these small towns. There's nothing to do in these states. So the kids get really bored and they just do all kinds of crazy stuff. And so that's literally like the premise of the show is that this town has this thing called Panic. Has this it specifically has a game called Panic, and this game is a high risk. And actually, I think I'm just giving you the general concept, so I don't think there's any spoilers here. The idea of Panic is the kids do these high risk games because they're bored and there's nothing to do in their town, right? So it's very critical as a dungeon master that you understand human nature. This is one of the reasons why I love D&D. Is as a dungeon master, you have to, inhabit a barkeep. You have to inhabit all kinds of tons and tons of different characters, right? You have to inhabit, a clergy from a town. You have to inhabit the leaders from the town. You have to inhabit the rat catcher, right? Like, you have to understand human nature, right? And here's the issue. Places aren't boring. No place in the world is boring, right? The issue is, boredom is not an attribute of a place or a time. Boredom is an attribute of a person. Only incredibly uninteresting people can be bored. Right? I've never been bored in my life, and I have no fear of ever being bored. There's no possibility of boredom for me. There never has been, right? Because wherever I'm at, I understand that the parameters and the attributes of those places are inherently interesting, right? And so boredom is a facet of a lazy mind, right? And so when you take your player characters into villages, when you take your characters into settlements, right? These small places, there's no boredom. There's people there. There are creatures there. There are land structures there. There are edifices there, and they are fascinating. Every single one of them has a history. So don't make this classic, lazy, horrible Hollywood mistake of assuming that a place is boring. No place is boring, right? In the Panic show, they literally say this in the show in character, and they say it from the narrative's perspective, from the narrator's perspective. It's incredible. It's bad and it's lazy, and don't do it in your Dungeon Master's game. That's my warning. That's my opinion. What's yours? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing. Have a wonderful millennium.